Blog Talk Radio.
There's a mystery lurking the forested areas of the world. Many have seen something, but what is it? Are they seeing known animals? They claim they walk upright, like a human. There are so many eyewitnesses. Can they all be wrong? Is someone just playing a trick on people? Or is it possible a large bipedal being could exist in the forests of the world? You have a decision to make. Do you believe it exists? These are the topics we discuss on Sasquatch Watch Radio. Welcome everyone to another episode of Sasquatch Watch Radio. Today is April 16th, 2013. Hope y'all got your taxes done. If not, you're a day late. Anyway, I'd like to take this opportunity to invite our great co-host, the Creature Seeker. What's going on there, buddy?
Billy.
How are you doing? Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Now I hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, it's been, as you know, Billy, it's been a very eventful last couple of days, and you know there are a lot of heavy hearts here in Boston. Some very sad stories.
Yeah, I actually glad that you mentioned that because I think we should all, keep the folks in mind up in Boston, especially those who have lost loved ones, and the hundreds of people that were injured in this cowardly act. I think we need to certainly have them in our thoughts and our prayers and our hearts, because talking about a marathon, that marathon's been going on for over 100 years. I mean, it's one of the oldest events in Boston.
Yeah. And
everybody,
it was so tragic, Billy, because a lot of those people, they were just there to see their loved ones, cross the finish line. And if you've never been to a marathon, and I can't speak of other marathons, but I'm sure they're similar, but the Boston Marathon is kind of a special event, and I like to go to it every year because you actually participate in it, because you encourage the runners. And especially at the finish line, when they just have given it all they've got, and they see the finish line and they're about to cross it, and you offer them encouragement, and you tell them, you can do it, and it's just really a great event because there's such support that, and all the spectators are just really encouraging the runners, and the runners themselves, they do it for different reasons. The vast majority of them are, they have personal reasons for running it. Maybe they're doing it because a loved one of theirs couldn't do it, so they're doing it on their behalf. But when I look at all the carnage that took place during that marathon day, it's just very sad. And that little boy, 8-year-old boy who died, he was there with his mom and sister, and he was there to see his dad cross the finish line. You know, and he died, you know, during one of those explosions, and you know, and then they just released the name of another girl, a 29-year-old girl who worked at a restaurant in a suburb of Boston, and you know, it's senseless, and it just saddens my heart. So, you know, I think you said it well when you said, you know, our thoughts and prayers go out to the families of the victims.
Well, one thing's for sure. You know, tragedies like this bring out the best in people. Unfortunately, sometimes it seems like that's what it takes to take out, you know, to bring out the best in people. But I saw a lot of the best come out in the people in Boston. Some people were actually going towards the explosions to help others, and that's very encouraging.
Yeah, I think I was reading that at least 30 people had at least one leg amputated.
Yeah.
And that just gives you an idea of kind of, you know, just the horrific scene that was there in the aftermath. So yeah, it's been it's been very sad, and I try not to think about it too much because it's just really, really a tragedy, you know.
Yeah, and it's so close to home to you, obviously. And
well, I was supposed to be there. You know, actually, I was running a little late, but every year I try to go there, and you know, generally, you know, I meet up with some friends and colleagues of mine, and we always meet at the finish line. It's one of the big landmarks there, and you know, they have the whole city's roped off basically, and so it's really tough to cross the street in some areas. So you know, we usually meet up at a certain place near the finish line, and then you know, and the marathon day is probably one of the biggest party days in the city. You know, I would say, I'd say it's on par, if not more, of a party day than St. Patrick's Day in Boston. You know,
I'm sure.
So it's just a great day, and you know, people who you know are native here, we always make it an event. You know.
Yeah. Well, let's definitely you know, everyone keep those folks in our prayers, and you know, hopefully we can find who the culprits are behind this, and move on like we always do. All right. Well, without further ado, we got a great guest on tonight. A lot of you know him as the organizer of the Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot Expo, and this will be his second annual event coming up. And let me bring on the line with us Mr. Peter Weimer. How you doing tonight, Peter?
I'm doing very well, Billy. Thank you for having me, and you too, Bruce, and my thoughts and prayers go out to the folks in Boston as well. We had friends that were running in that marathon. They were literally one mile behind when the explosions took place, and they emailed all their friends and stuff about the chaos afterwards, and let alone the people that were there, right? It's terrible. I mean, and so we have to thank all the first responders and all the police and all the firefighters, and thank God that those people were there to help save more lives that would have for sure died if they wouldn't have been nearby.
Yeah, that's absolutely exactly right. Exactly right.
You know, and I'm all about putting these dead guys definitely to bed.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me here tonight. We're excited about the 2013 Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot Weekend and Expo, April 26th, 27th, and 28th.
Yes, I'm excited too. Been looking forward to it. As we all know, the fall and winter is always when we all seem to be stuffed in our homes and not getting out like we like to, and then springtime comes along, and yeehaw, it's time for some Bigfoot conferences.
There you go. That's great. And
so tell us a little bit about the event. First of all, you know, a lot of people have probably always wondered what actually got you interested in even doing an expo.
Well, I did sports travel and outdoor shows in Cleveland and Pittsburgh for 19 years in a row. And Larry Batson, one of the Bigfoot researchers and speakers and friends of ours, he did that show as well with his wildlife educational services show. And he, in the Cleveland show, in the heyday, they'd get 450, 550 people sitting and watching his show. Mm-hmm. And mostly all little kids. It was called the Rattlesnake Roundup back then. And Larry and I became great friends that we only would get to see, twice a year in Cleveland, which back then was a 9-10-day show, and Pittsburgh, which is a 5-day show. It's in Monroeville. And the show people, we're all camaraderie. We all get to typically go to dinner at night with each other because we all leave the show at the same time, and we became great friends over 17, 19 years. And Larry got me hooked on Bigfoot because he's a Bigfoot aficionado. And I approached Larry about 3 years ago and asked him to help me, put together a Bigfoot convention for Chautauqua County. And he agreed, and he helped bring together you and Melissa and Steve Calls. And now we've brought together Bob Gimlin and Tom Yamaro, and it's going to be the biggest Bigfoot show on earth.
Well, I know it's a lot to prepare. It's there's so much that goes into preparing an event like that, especially when you're not doing just the event itself, but you're doing a lot of other things too on other days.
Right. We're trying to get our cottage resort open here. We literally opened Wednesday before the Bigfoot weekend, and we had ice on the lake right up until like last Wednesday or Thursday. Our day was last day in the lake that had ice, and normally it's the opposite, but they're putting in the dock as every day as much as they can bear, and we'll be open next week, and the Bigfoot weekend, Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot weekend's next weekend, and we can't wait. It's going to be great.
Oh, it's going to be fun. Now, MNBRT, which is Abe, he had a question. He wants to know how much are the rooms.
If you at Chautauqua Suites, where the expo is on Sunday, if you tell them you're going to be there for the Bigfoot Expo, their room rate is $89.99. It's more than that, but I believe that's the rate they quoted me for the Bigfoot. And you should definitely tell them if they quote you any more that's what you were told from the ChautauquaLakeBigfoot.com website.
Okay.
And so that's there, and we have a few cottages left here at the lake, and that's more expensive, and it's not a hotel room, but it's like a cottage-y kind of deal, but we have an indoor saltwater pool and spa. And the Chautauqua Suites doesn't have, but it's great. The Chautauqua Suites is 4 miles from here. Friday and Saturday, our events are at Camp Anyasa, which is about 8 or 10 mile drive from here, only about 4 or 5 miles from the Chautauqua Suites. Friday night is the town hall meeting where we should have some Chautauqua County eyewitnesses to a Bigfoot sighting come forward and talk about it, as well as probably a number of folks from Warren County or down in Pennsylvania, which is the county right below us. And then Saturday at Camp Anyasa. Camp Anyasa is a beautiful YMCA camp. It's one of their golden jewels. There's a couple of them in the country or in the state of New York for sure that are world class, and Camp Anyasa is one of them. And Saturday we're going to have the Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot School there from 10 to 2, and that's going to be, we'll have classes on how to cast footprints, a class on how to interview eyewitnesses and collect evidence, and a class on equipment, which Billy Willard's going to do for us, along with maybe Steve Call and anybody else, that one of the other speakers, and a class on equipment from the bare necessities to the more extravagant equipment. Then we're going to have a kids fishing class, starring kids, teaching kids and you how to catch fish. But it's going to be all adult, teen, a little kid-oriented, and it's going to be everybody that goes to that class will get a Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot diploma and a Chautauqua Lake green ribbon. And if you don't go, you can watch it on streaming video a couple of weeks afterwards for $4.99. It's going to be about 11 to 12 hours of video content, and then you can send in for a diploma and a ribbon for $10 and $5 plus postage and handling. It's neat. Wait till you see the diploma, Billy.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. And I tell you, I hope everybody really pays attention to my tools of the field, because, you know, some people just don't know how to work a flashlight.
Is that it? I bet you're right. I know it. I was a Boy Scout for a number of years. I didn't become an Eagle, but I'm a fan of Boy Scouts. My son was a Boy Scout for a little while, or a Cub Scout, but yeah, you're right.
I'm surprised that Bruce is definitely not on his game tonight, because he should have been making that joke before I did.
Yeah, you know, I heard you, Billy. You know, I was just thinking, though, one of the benefits of, you know, staying at Peter's campgrounds is you get to ride his bicycle around, and I don't.
That's right. Bring your bicycle. I mean, we're going to try to have a pontoon boat in the water so we can shuttle you over to Camp Anyasa and stuff, but we might just drive anyways. I know everybody wants their freedom to come and go when they please, especially when you're at the lake and you want to do different things, and who knows, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's going to be great. I talked to Bob Gimlin Friday night, I believe it was. First time ever, Billy. I apologize. Larry kept saying, haven't you talked to Bob? And he keeps telling me, but you got to call Bob at midnight. Well, I'm about one of these guys that I'm up at 6:15, and I'm usually falling asleep. I can't keep my eyes open much past 11:15 or 11:20, you know. So I never stayed up. I called him the other night. My wife took her daughter's boyfriend home at about 10 p.m., so I called and I got lucky. Even Bob said, I don't know how you happened to catch me tonight. I just decided to come in early because it was overcast, and we had a nice 15-minute chat. He's all excited, and he wants to help with the footprint class and anything else that he can offer. It's so neat, Billy. It's going to be such a cool event, the big
I'm sure.
And the expo itself, you know, just to have everybody, you, Larry, Steve Coles, Melissa Hovey, Tom Yamarone, and then Bob Gimlin, all in the same room. It's going to be glad I did it before anybody else did. It's going to be neat.
Yeah. Are you back? Are you back with us, Bruce? We dropped. I
am back.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting time. I know we had a good time. Me and Bruce had a good time last year, and you know, we won't get too much into the funny stories, but it was me, Bruce, and Larry Batson that went out into the woods that one night, and I tell you what, we had a blast out there.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
We were telling stories, and you know, and then Larry was telling us some stories about some things, and we were like, I don't know if I want to see that or not.
I know that's what it's to get all those Mayan kings together to talk about their world travels. That's so cool, you know. That's what it's all about. It's I'm looking forward to seeing you all. It's I've had 12 eyewitnesses that have come forward. You know, one came forward to you through you. You know, basically eyewitnesses here in Chautauqua County resolving themselves, either calling me or emailing me about their Bigfoot sighting in Chautauqua County. It's amazing the attention you draw when you create a Bigfoot expo, a Bigfoot event. It's mostly good good attention. It was this Karen. She's a #1 psychic in the world. She called the other day. Was going to have me on her TV show, but that didn't quite materialize. Karen Fisi, and different. Never a dull moment. You must have a few stories like that too, right, Billy?
Oh yeah, I think we all have stories.
Yeah, Peter. Peter, I think Karen. She said something about she was supposed to have an interview with you, but there were unforeseen circumstances.
Oh, she's a sweetheart. She's a really nice lady, and I appreciated her letting me try to get on her show. It just she was all booked up, it sounded like, but she's going to try to have me on after the fact, and just trying to figure out the exact angle to have me in there.
Yeah.
So,
now I think you were telling me earlier that you're going to be on some front page news in a couple newspapers.
Yeah. They're both Chautauqua County publications. One comes out, I believe, this Friday, and one comes out on Monday. And one's the Chautauqua Star, and the other one's the Jamestown Gazette. And then the third newspaper would be the Post-Journal. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do, but they're all pretty good. I mean, they realize that we're going to bring in hundreds of tourists to Chautauqua County, and where Jamestown has a dynamite ice rink and like a AA or AAA kind of little hockey team there, they jam with little hockey leagues that come into town and stuff. It's quite the economic impact for Jamestown, I'm sure. And this will be an economic impact for the upper end of the lake or the upper end of the county, or everybody, really. There's going to be a lot of locals that are going to come. Everybody, I couldn't believe it. I went to two banks today. Obviously, we do business with a couple of them. Can't have all your cookies in one cookie jar. So, really, you think about it, the three girls out of the four at the one bank, the tellers, they said they were all going with their boyfriends or husbands. And then at the other bank, a couple of them definitely sounded like they were going. And, of course, everywhere I go, I carry cards, and I talk about it. You walk into a room and you say Bigfoot, and everybody stops and wants to look at you and listen to you. They don't know what you're going to say. And so when I walk into a room, I hold up one of my neon green footprint postcards that are for the 2013 Expo and weekend, and I go, I'm here to give you some Bigfoot stuff. And then they open up their arms and they greet me and welcome me. I'm not in there trying to sell them or take their money. I'm just trying to see if they'd put up a little stack of Bigfoot cards and help educate the populace as to exactly what we're doing here. And I think everybody's going to be surprised how many people will come. I hope so.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I'm gonna quickly go over the agenda that you have up on the website. I did post the website in the chat room in the radio on the radio show, just for anyone that wants to click on that. But it's a great lineup, and I'm just going to kind of go over it real quick so that everybody's aware. On Friday, April 26th, that's when you're having the town hall meeting. At the YMCA camp. How do you pronounce that?
Camp Anyasa.
Anyasa, okay.
Camp Anyasa.
Yeah.
So, what does it mean, Peter?
Honestly, I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what it means. They have a beautiful, I'd say $1 million plus lodge or conference center that they just built a few years ago. And they're allowing us to rent it out like they rent it out for weddings or other parties, and we're renting it out for those two events, and it's obviously a perfect spot. If it's good weather, we can conduct some of those classes outside. If it's bad, there's enough room inside that we can do everything, including teaching people how easy it is to take their kids fishing.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
But I think it sounds pretty swank.
What's that?
It sounds pretty swank, Peter.
Well, no, it's going to be fun. It's supposed to be a little bit of entertaining. We might, and people ask me, why am I doing this? I says, we're just trying to entertain the populace, charge a fair dollar for a fair product, and it's all Bigfoot stuff. And Bob Kimlin and Billy's coming, and Larry and Melissa and Steve calls, and it's going to be Hollywood, in our world for 3 days. And I'm going to try to make it as comfortable as I can for everybody, and show them how hospitable and how nice Chautauqua County is, in the tourism industry that we are. We're Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo's playground. We're within a 3-hour drive or less of all those cities, and most of those cities vacation here in the summertime.
Very good.
We're lucky. We can't complain. We're one of, if not the cleanest freshwater lakes in New York State. We're a glacier-made lake, just like the Finger Lakes, but we're farther west by about 2 hours. So, and the Finger Lakes are in a lot of cases super deep, so they stay super cold. They don't ever warm up. Chautauqua Lake's lucky. It happened to be a pretty shallow lake, still good for fishing, but it warms up. It could be in the mid-70s to go swimming in 4 feet of water. You jump in the middle of the lake, it might be cold, but great.
So on Friday, April 26th, that's when the town hall meeting takes place at that YMCA camp. Adults are $15, children 15 years and under $10, and my understanding is they can fit 200 people max in that building.
Right. We could probably go to 250 or 300. I think they've had that for weddings if we go and overcrowd outside, but we're figuring if it's bad weather, 200 max or just a tad over.
Okay.
And the Y's been great. They just charge us like $150 and $5 a head.
Right, that's good.
So that's good. So we don't have to plop down $1,000 and then only 20 or 50 people show up.
Right.
I think at the town hall we were up to 20 or 30 people, and at the Bigfoot school we're up to over 50.
Yeah.
And it's going to be awesome.
Oh, it's going to be fun. But
there's a lot of people that are going to wait till the last minute, and hopefully we can accommodate them.
They always do. They always do. And so that starts at 4:30. So from 4:30 to 5 p.m., that's when the attendance sign in. Then from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, that's when there's going to be personal accounts of encounters. So that's the folks who want to, come speak up and talk about what they've seen or what they've heard, that kind of thing. And then from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock is going to be question and answers with the experts. Bruce, I didn't know you were answering questions.
Yeah.
It's all going to be good. It's all good stuff. And it might finish earlier, but we're hopeful that people will take this opportunity because we might do it biannually, we might do it triannually. I don't think we'll do it annually. I don't know. Mm-hmm. We'll wait and see. But we for sure have six big guns coming in town to entertain everybody, including yourself, and I should say 7 if Bruce is coming.
Yeah, you know it, Peter.
Bruce. I didn't put my picture on the poster this year. I put the 6 speakers. I tell you, we're going to sell these cool posters at the show, and it's going to be just an 8.5 by 11. We'll sell a mail order for anybody that can't make it, but we'll get that up on the internet either shortly before or afterwards. But it's neat.
All right, and then on Saturday, April 27th, that's the Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot School. That's also going to take place at the YMCA camp. Prices are the same, adults 15, children 15 and under $10. So from 9:30 to 10 a.m., that's when everybody signs in. From 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock a.m. is going to be the class How to Cast Footprints. which will be led by Melissa Hovey. From 11 o'clock to 12 p.m. will be the class interviewing eyewitnesses and collecting evidence, which will be led by Steve Coles. From 12:15 to 1:15 p.m. will be the equipment class, led by myself. And then from 1:15 to 2:15 p.m. will be the kids fishing class, which will be led by the iKids Fishing Show.
Right.
That should be interesting.
Yeah, that's a neat project we did a few years ago. We're the only kids fishing show in the USA starring kids, teaching kids, and you how to catch fish. It's a 57-minute long DVD, and the first 45 minutes is nothing but little kids teaching other little kids how to catch fish. then we have an adult teach how to fillet fish, and it's really good. I see a lot of fishermen stop when we're showing that at the Sport Travel and Outdoor shows, at that part where, because it's crystal clear, we shot how to clean these canned fish, and if you never really knew, there's some awesome footage. And then there's another adult that shows you how to cook fish. And then after that, it's a kids blooper section where we set up like an ESPN studio setting where the kids would introduce the next scene that was shot or videoed, whether they were fishing from a public dock or from a pontoon boat. So these 5-6 kids would sit in the studio setting, and the bloopers is when these kids were farting. And nothing's funnier to a kid, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years old, than another kid letting loose in front of them all. And that just was some of the funniest stuff. Yeah, what does a kid do that makes them bust out laughing? And they lost it. That was a blooper section, so that's a cool little section of our iKids Fishing Show. And I know I can talk about the iKids Fishing and Milt the Talking Muskie. That's another video project that we created. It's a 4-minute sing-along karaoke kind of song that teaches 86 sight words to preschool to second graders.
Wow.
And through music and video, retention is higher in young kids. And by accident, one of our office assistants showed her tutored kids that she was tutoring, 2 of which were 6-year-old autistic twin boys, Milt, and for the first time ever, one of the twin boys attempted speech, and that was in 2008. So we're listed on Autism Speaks website for video and learning tools, and maybe there's none of which has made any money, but there's a home for Milt someplace, just like there is for the Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot Weekend and Expo.
Right, that's right.
Right, it's just got to find the right market niche to try to hopefully everybody that's entertained. And in the course of this, from Larry helping me create a Bigfoot convention where I was just a fan, to now I'm a believer. It's kind of a weird transformation, but one that's a natural transformation because it's just the truth being presented, and I get to listen to it. I know that they're not lying to me, so so we can give video or some other proof that people know that they're obviously real. There will be the skeptics out there, but
yep, that's right.
Just like there's skeptics that wonder if Hitler was ever killed or not. They never saw the body. They didn't see it. They don't know for sure if that body that they saw in the picture was him.
Or if Elvis is dead and if he's alive somewhere on a tropical island somewhere.
That's right. Or if Michael Jackson's really alive,
Yeah.
I saw Michael Jackson twice in concert when I was growing up.
Now he is an entertainer. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. But I saw on YouTube the other day they got his 1988 Grammy appearance. I tell you, that thing was rocking.
Oh yeah. All right, well, last but not least, of course, Sunday, April 28th is the big day. That's the Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot Expo. that takes place at Chautauqua Suites in Mayville, New York. Now that one, the adult price is $20, children 15 and under are $10. The building will fit 800 people maximum. First 300 sit at tables of 8, and the next 300 sit theater style, and the last 200 is standing room only. Now it does say on here that the expo hall capacity is 900 plus, but 600 chairs exist in the building, and you will rent more chairs up to the pre-sale cutoff date being April 22nd.
Right.
So,
and right now we're not near 600 tickets. So if people show up, I'm sure they'll get in. If it goes past 600, there's going to be only 600 chairs in the building.
Right. Nothing you can do about that.
Nothing, and it's the biggest convention hall in Chautauqua County.
Yeah.
When they built this 5, 6, whatever years ago, they took an existing printing factory and turned it into a hotel, and they took the factory and turned it into an expo.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they built the hotel and a nice restaurant, and it's a great convention hall, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and one of the things I'd like to point out, especially on events like what you're putting together, Peter, and the event that Bruce is working on, pre-registration is so important because it helps you with the planning.
I know it.
But at the same time, I understand that some folks may not be certain that they can come, and so therefore it's easier for them to wait and see, and then go. But it is nice to know ahead.
It is nice to know ahead. You're right. And since we feel we're going to be videoing it, everybody has to sign a video and photographic release, or we can't sell them a ticket, because the intent is to make history. We're gonna video history here and provide it as a streaming video. It's only $4.99. Mm-hmm. Maybe a network will pick it up. Maybe Netflix will. Maybe somebody will see the value of 12 hours of Bigfoot convention. But really, if somewhere along the line we can protect the species with my letters that I wrote to New York State DEC, and but we might even have some surprises at the expo. But it's all good. It's great. Thank you.
Yep. Now, on the event, the doors do open at 11 o'clock. So from 11 to 12, that's when everybody comes and signs in. From 12 noon to 1 o'clock will be my part, Sasquatch in Virginia. From 1 to 2 p.m. will be Tom Yamarone. He's going to speak about Bluff Creek then and now. From 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock will be Bob Gimlin, question and answers with Larry Batson. From 3 o'clock to 3:15, that will be you, Peter, talking about the Bigfoot sightings in Chautauqua County. Then there will be an intermission, a 15-minute intermission from 3:15 to 3:30. And then back at 3:30 to 4:15 will be Larry Batson's Wildlife Educational Services show, and that's always fun. That's
a great little show for adults and children alike. Last year we did it at the very beginning, and a lot of people came an hour, 2 hours late with little kids because from church or whatever,
Yeah.
And they were kind of disappointed that they didn't make that part of the show, and so that's why I wanted it more center of the show, in the middle of the show, where if people came late, that the kids could at least enjoy the entertainment that Larry is known for.
Right, exactly. Then from 4:15 to 5:15 will be Melissa Hovey. She's doing Bigfoot Eye Shine. What is it? From 5:15 to 6:15 will be Steve Cole's What Would Sasquatch Do, which is Sasquatch behavior in relation to primate behavior. And then, of course, at 6:15 is going to be the closing statements and autograph and picture-taking sessions. So looks like you've got a full weekend of events for sure.
Right. Yeah, It is going to be a full weekend of events. It's we've got a number of groupings of tickets that are making a trip with six people from the Buffalo area that are going to stay at the hotel and try to do all three events. And
wow.
It's neat. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be. It's early in the season for people to think about it, but that's good because then they're not in golf leagues, they're not in other commitments that would take them away, and it's a perfect weekend. It's going to be a full moon weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't have an expedition planned. Obviously, people can go and do what they want. We would have maps available of the state lands in Chautauqua County, which is public land that you can go and
Right.
fight. And Chautauqua Gorge is a great, I think it's a real squatchy place, but I haven't seen or heard of any sightings over there, but it's great. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, Bruce, you've been awful quiet back there.
Well, I was just thinking over last year's conference was kind of funny. I remember you mentioned that there wasn't an expedition planned this year, but last year we had an expedition, and I can't remember the name of it was some sort of reserve. I can't remember it. Peter,
right, it
help
was
me out.
the Watts Flats Swampland.
Oh, that's right. So we went to this location, and the trail was cut off there was a tree that had fallen over it. So here we are. We're clearing this trail, and then I don't know. We were there probably like an hour or so, or maybe a little bit more, and then we realized we're not in the right location, and we're on someone's property. So there was a whole group of us. We felt we felt like total idiots. So.
Wow.
Well, we did them a favor.
we absolutely did them a favor, and we brought to bear all of our knowledge on physics and lumberjacking to clear this trail. We weren't even in the right location.
No.
Oh, well. It was still fun.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, Peter, you're relatively new in terms of, being sort of on the conference schedule.
Sure.
Look, how are people? How are they reacting? Have you been very open about the fact that you're involved with Bigfoot research, and do your colleagues and business associates, they kind of look at you differently now that you do these conferences, and how's that received?
I think I definitely blatantly speak about it openly. Just like I said, you say Bigfoot in a room and everybody turns to listen. I'm the only one that's saying Bigfoot in Chautauqua County. I mean it. Anybody else that's going to say Bigfoot, they might. Maybe they do say it to their friends. There's a lot of people that feel they've heard or they've seen that haven't talked to me. I know there's a lot of people out there. My wife thinks that I'm risking our business, by being such a believer, where I say it on the radio or I say it. I'm going to a Rotary breakfast Thursday morning. Specifically, they wanted me, and they reached out to me a couple of times to come there at 7 a.m. And you know me, at 7 a.m. I got to be able. And I'm going to talk about the Bigfoot, Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot Weekend and Expo to Rotary, and they're all excited and interested to hear what I've got to say, and it's because I'm hanging my name on the line. I'm hanging, and I believe it. Honest to God, these people wouldn't have come to me risking their jobs or their reputations to try to lie to me. I know it. Just like with people that come to you, or if you've seen one. I personally haven't seen one yet, but I know that the eyewitness, and one of the editors that called me today from the newspapers, and he talked to me at length. I was at Home Depot. I sat down on a set of plywood for 15 minutes telling him, and he thinks that eyewitness testimony has got to be credible, because whether it's doctors, people walk into a doctor's office and all of a sudden say that this is what they experienced. The doctors are listening because this is what they need to hear. And it was interesting to hear an editor of a newspaper explaining to me how credible eyewitness testimony is. And I thought that was really neat. And he's going to key in on it on the newspaper, I believe. And I never knew it. I never knew how important eyewitness testimony was until people started talking to me about their Bigfoot sightings. They never came to me when I was an Ice Castle festival chairman or a balloon rally festival chairman and tell me about their eyewitness experiences other than balloon rallies or ice castles.
Oh, yeah.
It's different.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I do have to say is, if anyone has, for all those who haven't stayed at your facility, there at your where your cabins and things are, they're really missing out. That area is just so beautiful. Just the way it's laid out.
Thank you.
Looking over the lake. I mean, it's just it's very peaceful. It's very tranquil. I don't know.
I hope people still come and vacation here, even though they understand now that I think I believe in Bigfoot. I know my cottage rental customers are probably looking at that part of my website going, wow, do we really want to go here? But so far, it's just an awareness. They just need to be aware of it. They just need to realize we're entertaining them. I'm not preaching that.
Right.
Peter, last year I stayed at your camp, and I became aware of the fact that I was staying in a chicken coop. So you don't have that on your website or on any of your brochures, but I found that out while I was staying there.
It's a nice chicken coop, though. It's a nice. When my parents settled here in 1966, they bought their home, and their home came with a barn, a chicken coop, and 12 feet of lake frontage. And the barn is 4 apartment cottages. The chicken coop is cottage number 16, and the rest is history. And now we have 31 lakefront cottages and apartments, and the people speak fondly when they realize they're staying in the chicken coop. I mean, I got a lot of regulars that like cottage 16, and they we constantly upgrade and do improvements, but obviously it's just the outer shell is a chicken coop. Everything else was torn out and stuff. So.
Plus, Peter said that they just upgraded a lot of the showers in a lot of the buildings.
Yeah, we replaced 19 showers this winter, and we're constantly trying to make it better for everybody. A couple of years ago, we tore out all the carpeting and we put in vinyl flooring, which was when you're in the Northeast, it's a rainy area. It's definitely you're going to have, and you can't have rainy, wet carpets because it'll just never dries and always smells. When we got rid of the carpets, we got rid of 98% of our complaints on smell.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, just the moisture and the mold and mildew issues probably with the carpet retaining all the moisture,
Right. I mean, we still have to battle that anyways, but we're at least a little bit ahead of the 8 ball. Where with the carpet, we were way behind the 8 ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
We live and learn. If I don't learn something every day, I'm not. I didn't wake up to see anything. I learn something every day.
Now, one thing's for
Peter,
sure.
Peter, it's when we stay at your camp, it's kind of like we are staying on a farm, because I woke up one morning and I go out there and you're chopping firewood right out on the lawn.
Yeah, Bruce, do you live in a city?
Yeah.
It's all right, Out here in the rural America, you'd be surprised. I guess there's a friend of mine, one of my neighbors, has a picture on Facebook of a big black bear on the lakefront. Either was on my property or my neighbor's property, but it's a picture taken from his property, which is across the street. And I haven't seen it yet, but I just heard about it yesterday or the day before. And I'm sure my wife and kids would freak out if they realized there was a black bear on the lake side of our property. But, that's what you get out here. There's coyotes, there's black panthers, all that. Then there's Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Peter, you don't have anything. You don't have anything to worry about, because you got that big dog. That thing is like a wolf.
Yeah, he is. We don't take him when we go out squatching. We obviously know he would understand like he does here. But he's an American White Shepherd, about 134 pounds, a great watchdog. Obviously, nobody wants to rob our home because he is, but he's never bit anybody yet.
Yeah, I'll just give you a heads up, Peter. Though he's a great watchdog, but he doesn't mind when people ride your bicycle around the yard.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That riding past sunset rule you probably missed in your orientation sheet.
I guess the rule is, as long as you don't leave the yard with your bicycle, he's okay with it.
Yes, there you go. So it shows you, everybody, to have this kind of fun, you got to stay a We Want You, either during the Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot weekend or some other time when we're open between April 24th and October 22nd.
Yeah, definitely a great place to stay. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
I was thinking of bringing my fishing pole this year. What kind of fish mostly do you catch on that lake, Peter?
Well, when you're here, you'll only be able to do catch and release bass, which is spectacular, and you can catch and keep pan fishing, which is spectacular. Walleye doesn't open until the weekend after you're here. Walleye opens the first Saturday of May in New York State. And bass and muskie opens the third Saturday of June. But so you can catch 11 to 12 to 13-inch perch if you're lucky right off my dock.
What about Swedish fish? Can you catch those?
No. I know they got the Swedish pimple, which is a lure that is used for walleye fishing, I believe. But they call it the Swedish pimple. And by mistake one day called it the Swedish nipple. They corrected me quickly. It was the Swedish pimple. I said, okay. But it's supposed to be an awesome jigging walleye bait, which is good. And back to Chautauqua County, what else can I tell you about this area? We have wineries. We have probably a dozen or more wineries in Chautauqua County. It's right along Lake Erie is the wineries section. We have the Lucy Desi Museum, which is in Jamestown. Lucille Ball was born here in Jamestown, Celeron, New York. Roger Tory Peterson Museum is here. Roger Tory Peterson's a bird watcher that wrote world famous bird books and drawings, and he was from around here as well, and so they have the Roger Tory Peterson Museum. And then Judge Jackson, Senator Jackson, was the residing judge of the Nuremberg Nazi trials, and he was from Jamestown, New York. He became one of the Supreme Court justices, and they got a museum of that. I personally haven't gone to it. I have to go. I tell you, it's amazing the history there is in Western New York, and there's 30,000 acres of public hunting and state lands in Chautauqua County, a lot of which is pretty squatchy, and that's why these people have been seeing Bigfoots in Chautauqua County. Of course, the county to the south of us is Warren County, Pennsylvania, and they have Allegheny National Forest, which is either 455 or 555,000 acres.
Wow.
And of course, the Adirondack National Park, over 6 million acres in upstate New York State. You can fit Yosemite, Yellowstone, a bunch of national parks into the Adirondack National Park, and that's how big it is. That's why people, there's areas of that park that they don't have any roads within 20, 30 miles of it. That's why Bigfoots can live up there without anybody ever running into them.
Oh, yeah. That's for sure.
I'm sure there's land like that down where you live, Billy, and I don't know where you live, Bruce. You live in a city?
A small town we call Boston.
Boston. Bruce, I'm so sorry. I do that. I should have said that. And, Boston.
Yeah. We do have some nice country down here. The Appalachians, you got the whole area there from Skyline Drive to the Blue Ridge Parkway. You go down southwestern Virginia, and there's just acres upon acres of wilderness down in that area. So, but I don't think nothing tops the Adirondacks. That's a lot of area.
It is. That is an amazing area.
Yeah.
I've been up there once, but not like to camp out. Some people have stayed with us from the Buffalo Market, which is Buffalo is about an hour and a half northeast of us, and then they get turned on to the Adirondacks, and they never come back. They get lost. They get lost out there. It's la la land. It's really desolate. Obviously, if you want, the nice thing about Chautauqua Lake, you're within 15 miles of two very good hospitals.
Yeah.
In the Adirondacks, you could be who knows how far away from a hospital, let alone a four-wheeler can get you there.
Let alone cell phone signal.
A little cell phone signal, yeah, to call 911 to get help.
And even if you did tell them that you needed help, they might not find you.
Say good luck.
Yeah.
Peter, are you telling me that you actually go out camping, in a tent? Is that what you're saying?
We go camping once a year up to Allegheny State Park, which is attached to the National Forest, but we rent one of their cabins. When I was a Boy Scout, I camped in a tent, but I haven't camped in a tent since I got married. No. My wife, she needs certain creature comforts, and even when we camp in the cabin, we end up bringing a porta potty, so that's a creature comfort, because those cabins don't have them. Not all. You can rent an expensive cabin, I guess, but we go camping.
Before we hitting yourself against a tree.
Before we go off the live feed, I just wanted to say thanks for everyone for tuning in tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you, and of course, join us next Tuesday night at 9 p.m. for another show. We're going to continue into the archives here just a bit, and thanks for everybody for listening in.
And then we'll.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you, Bruce. You guys have a great day. God bless everybody.
All right, Peter. Thanks a lot for being a guest. We certainly appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you. What a guy.
Thanks.
Thanks.
All right.
Take care.
And Bruce. And Bruce, I guess we're about ready to wrap it up for the night.
I guess we are. Time flies when you're having fun.
It does. That it does. So, looking forward to seeing you again next week, too.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
It certainly will.
We're going to have a lot of laughs and a lot of stories, I'm sure.
That's right. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Thanks for being here. And next week, after we, I think, you know what, Bruce, we need to do a Creature Weekend show.
I think that would be a great idea.
So we may want to actually consider doing that next week, so that we can kind of, because there's so much going on, too, at Creature Weekend that there's a lot to talk about.
Absolutely, Billy.
So we may consider doing that next week or the week after, but we definitely want to get it done before the event comes up. So we'll let
definitely
y'all.
A lot to talk about.
Yep, we'll let y'all know.
Make sure you have me on this show too, so I can jazz Bruce. I'll ask him if he's ever stayed in a tent.
Peter, you should see my tent. It's actually, I think your wife would actually like the tent that I usually stay in. If Billy's probably, I don't know, Billy, you probably have pictures, right?
Oh, I've got pictures. Everybody calls it the Taj Mahal because he's got a blow-up sofa. He's got a blow-up sofa.
Inflatable king-size sofa.
He even puts a TV monitor in his tent. It's like probably.
He knows how to rough it, huh?
Oh yeah, it's probably like a 60-inch.
No, I think it's like a 36-inch, but it's a DVD player and computer monitor.
Oh man. All right, we'll be seeing you here real soon, Peter.
Billy, you bet, buddy. We'll be ready for you Thursday, Friday, whenever you get here.
Oh, yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and ride up on Thursday. So we'll be there probably Thursday afternoon or so.
And Peter, make sure you sweep up that chicken coop before I get there, all right?
Are you running the chicken coop, Bruce? You didn't run it yet, have you?
Yeah, I thought you were saving it for me.
I didn't save it for you yet. It's still on the open market. Whoever sends in money wins. If you want me to save it for you, you better tell me, man. I tell you what, I got it kind of blah, blah, blah. It's almost sold out weekend, man.
All right, well, I was just assuming you were going to hold it for me again.
Oh, honestly, I didn't know, Bruce, but I will definitely hold it for you if you tell me you're coming. How many days are you coming?
I'll be there 3 days.
3 nights?
Yes.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Are you going to leave Sunday or leave Monday?
Well, that's a good question. Maybe 4 nights.
Okay. Sure. I don't have the prices in front of me, Bill. Poor Bruce. Poor Billy.
Yeah, I'll give you. You know what? I'll give you a shout like tomorrow or something, and we'll
give me a call tomorrow morning. I'm in the office starting about 7:30, and if I'm in and out and you get the answer machine, just leave a number and I'll call you right back and I'll quote you a price and make sure I make you happy. Okay?
All right. So since when are you in the office at 7:30, Peter?
My kids get on the bus at 7:20, so I just walked right here. Blah blah.
Because I saw you chopping wood around 10 in the morning that one day.
Yeah, no. Shoot, when I'm open, start next week when I'm open, I'm in the office at 7:15 to open at 7:30.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so, you know, it's the time of the year to rent those fishing boats to pay for that winter I have to sit in, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
That's good. That's good. So, Bruce, really, thank you very much for wanting to rent the chicken coop again.
It's a tradition
nice
up here.
Well, listen, you know, it's important. We need this money, man. And bring your bath towels, bring your pool towels, paper and soap products. You'll be styling.
Well, Peter, the chicken coop rental last year probably paid for Tom and Bob to come out here this year.
Yeah. Good. I don't think so. And if I could tell New York State when I paid my taxes there, the property taxes there a month ago, that since I paid last year, why don't we just count that towards this year? I think hey, if it would work for them, I would definitely do it for you, Bruce.
Oh man! All right, we better call this show an end.
Well, I'm glad I didn't rent that 16 yet to anybody. Poor Bruce would have come without a cottage. We've been sold out almost.
Nah, I would have stuck him under my bed.
I know you would have. I know. Hey, we appreciate you spreading the love and having Bruce stay with us and having to pay us, unfortunately. Hey, imagine this. If I make a profit, I can pay myself for all those free cottages. I keep dreaming. So anyway.
Yeah, you keep dreaming, Peter, because that's what it is.
I think you're right there. That's definitely a dream.
So everybody heard it here first. You do not make money on Bigfoot conferences.
I think that's pretty obvious right now. But it sure is a lot of fun, boy.
It is fun, and that's the whole reason for it. Is to have fun and see folks that you may only see once a year, and just have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, Peter, thanks so much for being on. Bruce, thank you for being a great co-host.
All right, thanks, Billy. Peter, as
Thank
always,
you, guys.
it's a pleasure.
Likewise.
And see you guys here in about a week or so.
All right.
Guys.
Good night, everybody.
All
Good
right.
night.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Sasquatch Watch Radio. Remember to join us again next Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We appreciate every one of our listeners. Thank you so much for being here.
Winter thrills await at Winterfest at Nemacolin. Join the fun on Saturday, February 10th for a day of fun-fueled winter festivities like skiing and snowboarding, snow tubing, ice skating, and snow bikes. You'll be able to meet the Nemacolin Dogs sled team, try your hand at ice bowling, compete in the out-cold race, and finish your day with a brew by the fire at the peak. A winter of wonders waiting for you at Nemacolin's Winterfest. Experiences are for overnight guests and members. For more information, visit nemacolin.com.
The Connecting VA app provides commuters free ride matching services. Now you can instantly find carpools, van pools, and public transportation throughout the state of Virginia. Connecting VA helps commuters plan their trips and find park and ride lots, bike share services, and electric vehicle charging stations. Download the Connecting VA app on your phone today and start recording your trips to earn rewards. The Connecting VA app, brought to you by RideSmart.